Alright, man. This is gonna be a combined Resident Evil video game vlog slash we're gonna be talking about Resident Evil 4. And I just finished watching Dead Space's remake. I just finally got around to watching that. So we're gonna talk about all of this. I don't know how long this is gonna be. Honestly, I loved both. And I love both because they were really good remakes. So we're gonna start with Dead Space. Sorry, that's like the main street behind me. And let me take my glasses off because, again, I have to use my cell phone because I don't know what's going on. I don't have a laptop. So, and I'm sorry I'm not looking at the camera directly, but because my phone is weird, it's going to be a little weird. So, I'm going to start with Dead Space that I just finished watching. Y'all, I ain't seen Dead Space in a long time. I looked it up and... Are you coming up here or what, child? Child pumpkin. Come on. Sorry. Yeah, look who had to be in the video. But I ain't seen Dead Space. I looked it up. Dead Space came out in 2008. So that was like 15 years ago. I'm like, it's been 15 years since Dead Space. Damn. The last time I talked about Dead Space, I had a podcast. Remember that? Remember that shit when I had the podcast? Yeah. That was the last time I talked about Dead Space. Hello, little one. Hello. You gonna lie down or you gonna just stand there? You gonna just stand there. Okay. Alright, so I had forgot completely about Dead Space as a whole subject because I think the first Dead Space I haven't seen in 15 years. The last Dead Space I watched, there used to be some horror. He used to cover a lot of horror games. And he still is going around, at least as of 3 months ago. I can't remember the last thing I saw him play. But it was something HH Gaming on YouTube. I used to love that channel. That was the last time I watched a Dead Space game. He played, I want to say Dead Space 3 or 4. Something like that I had watched. And the only thing I remember from that is the dude that was playing as Isaac had jumped over a bunch of monsters because he was like running down like some wall or something. And he jumped over the monsters and they had me on the floor. That's like the only thing I legitimately remember from playing or watching somebody play that Dead Space. Are we going to get settled or are we just going to be a problem today? Child, man. So that was the last time I actually watched the Dead Space, and I do not remember when that was. I do believe I was living in Florida. I want to say that was either 11 or 12, maybe 2013. I don't remember, but I have been hearing Dead Space had died in a tragic grease fire, and I was just like, oh, okay, well, that's gone, so I guess we're not going to be talking about that no more. But they brought it back, and they started with the first Dead Space game, and I know a lot of people were kind of like weirded out by the fact that Isaac, because I do kind of remember he didn't talk at all in the first game, and I think I had the same feeling that I had when I originally watched Dead Space. At the end, I just had this feeling of like, that was a fucking ride and a half that I was like not ready for. And that was kind of how I felt watching this. And it's not that it was bad, but it was gory. It was a lot of gore. And I forgot. And I was just like, first of all, I'm like, is Dead Space considered body horror? Because it's a lot of fuckery where people were like, that Shindu and like, we ain't even been in the shit for that long when they get on the Ishimura and then they Shindu gets attacked by one of them necro needle monsters and he gets all fucked up. And it's a part where like him and the black dude that's the captain of like Isaac's and them's team, he has to like he like sees him and he's like, oh my god, Chin, and then Chin needle monster necro needled into him. And then the dude pushes him into this thing and they blow up in a cavalcade of juices. And I'm just like, oh my damn god, what the fuck did I just see? And it was just like, wow. I forgot how fucked up Dead Space was. I hadn't seen that kind of violence in a while and my brain was like, why am I watching this? And I was hitting her to be watching it after I watched Resident Evil 4 Saturday night. So I had to stop, and I didn't watch it at all yesterday. I had this weird Resident Evil night. It wasn't a nightmare, but it was just a weird situation with Resident Evil. The dream was, I had a dream that I was getting Wesker's autograph. I don't know, but it was just, I had to stop watching Dead Space because it was a lot. And it was a lot of times I was jumping because like the necro needle monsters was just coming out of the wings and like jumping all around, and I was just like, I was not ready for it, and I was just like, oh my god, I can't. But is Dead Space considered body horror? Cause like I know that shit. I didn't even talk about the game, cause I didn't watch it. I like watched somebody play the end of it. It was like, I forget the name of it, but y'all would know it if you saw it. It's like, no, the protagonist doesn't talk at all. All I remember is from the ending, this one dude, his consciousness gets transferred into this other monster thing, and they're trying to get out of this like alien fucked up world, but the monster's like mouth has skin over it, so like you can't even really talk or scream or anything. And all I remember is the dude whose consciousness was transported from the one monster just kept stabbing the other monsters. He walked around and was like, can we stop? I'm trying to help you and you stabbed me. I forget what the name of that game, I'm about to say movie, what the name of that game was. Whatever the name of that game was, I can't remember. But that I know is considered body horror. Is Dead Space considered body horror? Because it was a lot of people getting really, really fucked up. One part that fucked me up real bad watching this, and this just happened like about 40 minutes ago. Isaac, and this was closer toward the end, Isaac was just getting ready to deal with that damn marker thing. He was just about to get ready to deal with it, and this lady is on the ground laughing all weird and hysterical. I was like, oh, I think he's going crazy because that marker thing is making him crazy. And I was like, she's probably just dead and he's just crazy. No, that was not the case. That was not the situation with that situation. She's on the floor laughing all crazy. She pulls out a gun and her head, once again, explodes in a cavalcade of juice. And I'm just like, can I help you back there? Can I help you? Are we going to behave or do you need to leave? She's looking at me like, oh no. But that lady had, I ain't had no rant for it. I was not ready for the level of ridiculousness. Let me go help this dog. I'll be right back. Hold on. Sorry about that. She had to leave. That was what her situation was. But yeah, so I wasn't really mad that they made Isaac talk. It was pretty much like, from what I vaguely remember, we're talking 15 years ago. The ending was the same. Like, it was the exact same ending. It wasn't, there was like really no difference. It like he was going crazy. I was just like, this poor pumpkin, because that's what I was calling him. I was like, oh, poor Isaac Pumpkin. You just lost your damn mind fucking around with this damn marker shit. And like, he was all hallucinating, like, oh, we gonna be together. First of all, I kind of knew some shit was up, that it wasn't, because I vaguely remembered that his girlfriend was dead the whole time. But even if I didn't know that, she kept, we gotta be made whole again. Oh, we're gonna be made whole. I'm like, oh, she talking some fuckery. That ain't her. It's not her. So, and it wasn't, because he was going nuts off that marker trash. But it was good. I don't know why people were mad that Isaac was talking. I really did not find that like this egregious, horrible thing that Isaac had a lot to say about this situation. I mean, because how would you be quiet in a situation like that? I would be like, because he was like, some person's like, fuck this ship. I'm like, I'm with you, man. Let's get the shit out of here, because this place is just a damn train wreck, and I can't. Just blow this thing up, put the marker, have it jettisoned into the sun, and let's never talk about any of this ever again. So, I don't know. I wonder if they're going to do more Dead Space. I'm assuming that they may. Yet again, it was a situation where it was a good remake, because now we're going to transition into Resident Evil 4, a good remake. Although, okay, we have 2 good remakes, right? Not to sidetrack, but we have 2 good remakes. Is this going to be a situation where we have a good Dead Space remake? We have a good Resident Evil 4 remake. Is Silent Hill 2 going to fuck it up? Honestly, I already think Silent Hill 2 might a little bit fuck it up, because people are up there talking, oh, we want to be, the next article I read, something about, oh, we want to be like the leaders in horror in a blooper team. And I'm just like, okay. Can you prove to me that you can hold out a 9mm because you're going for the big gun, the big fucking rocket launcher that is Silent Hill 2? Can you prove to me you can hold a 9mm without shooting yourself in the damn foot? I really wish they had did Silent Hill 1. They really should have had the remake and not 2. Why the fuck would you take up 2? Why would you take 2 before 1? I'm still gonna be on the we will see, but I'm saying we already got 2 really, really good remakes. Cause Resident Evil 4 was fucking amazing. And I ain't gonna front, it wasn't that I was just more like, who the fuck asked for Resident Evil 4 remake? I was like, a lot of people were like, who the hell was asking, who was clamoring for a Resident Evil 4 remake? Cause y'all had ported that 11 million different times in like a zillion different ways. It was on the Wii. It was on the Xbox. It was on PlayStation. It was on like fucking one of them tiger things from like the 80s. It was on everything. So I was just kind of baffled as to like, more people were screaming that they wanted a Code Veronica situation and could care less about Resident Evil 4, but what the fuck are we doing? But we all had to eat crow, because it was good. And it wasn't that I wasn't expecting it to be good. It was just more like, actually I kind of was, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But it was just kind of like, well, why? Why this one? Especially when you just had Resident Evil 8, which was effectively, actually, let's just say a lesser version of Resident Evil 4. Let's just be real about the shit. Because first of all, fuck Ethan Winters, and I'm sick of this shit with that man. Fuck that apple-headed girl, whatever her name is, Rosemary. Her DLC can kiss my ass. No. It was a lesser, no one asked for this version of Resident Evil 4. And then you get this good-ass remake, and it's just like, why couldn't 8 been this good? And even though I didn't ask for this, it was the thing I didn't ask for, but it damn sure was the thing we all needed. It definitely was the thing we all needed, because they added 3 things that I like that they added. The very beginning, when you first start playing the game, they showed a cult killing some girl all bad, and it was just like, the fuck. And then the other thing that I liked was that whole chaotic part where Leon is getting attacked by all the villagers. That part where the bell starts ringing sent chills through my damn body, because everybody just stops, and it's still like the part where they do to be like La Campana, and the bell is going off, and they're just dropping their murder weapons and just shuffling off into the church. But this time they're like cold stopped. They're near him, just walking past like nothing was, like they didn't just try to fucking murder a man. And it was just like, the fuck? The other thing, and I forgot about this, I don't know why this just popped in my head. When you go in that cabin where the hunter or whatever that dude's name is, that first dude, where he in the original he cursed you out, he was like cabron, which is like the F word in Spanish. That dude in the remake, his neck gets broken. He is walking around with a fucked up crooked ass neck, all walking around, still shambling around. And I was like, oh my God, this is fucked up. It was a part later on, because I started watching Survival Horror Network's walk through that. And it was a part later on, like way later on. I think I was like 2.5 hours in, and Leon had gone back to the village or some shit. That man with the crooked neck was still walking around. I was fucked up on that. I was like, oh, that's fucked up, man. Oh, that's fucked up. But that part where they like trundle off into the church and they're just shuffling past him like nothing just the fuck happened. It sent chills through my body. I was just like, the fuck? And they kept that line. Where's everybody going? Bingo. And I was just like, yeah, shut up. You barely made it out of this situation. You need to shut your fucking mouth right now. But that was good. Part that slapped. Pardon me if I'm ruining this for y'all. It's some part where you and Lewis on a I don't remember if that was in it or not, but you're on this minecart ride. Bitch, I enjoyed that part so much. I'm sitting there with my feet just kicking in the air like, oh my god, this is so fun. It felt like, I was like, oh my god, this needs to be a ride. This needs to be a ride at a theme park. I would fucking go on this ride because it's just that goddamn amazing. Fucking loved it. This is what I'm saying. Look at Resident Evil 4 and the wonderfulness that was Resident Evil 4. They kept the plot. They did change some stuff because, like, I think originally Luis, who I always say is a distant cousin of Sebastian Castellanos, but Luis wasn't a cop who quit like after like 2 minutes being on the police force and like, fuck this. No, he was actually a scientist for Umbrella. And I liked that. I liked that they changed him. They flipped him up. In that, you know, he wasn't like this weird cop that was doing like experiments on the side. He was just a scientist who was trying to get out of the shit with the cult, and that was a great change to the story, and it made the shit work. The other thing I liked, what the fuck? I did kind of like the fact that Ashley was just stuck with you. You couldn't throw that girl in like a dumpster and be like, hi, here. You had to take that chick everywhere, but she was helping. It wasn't a situation where she was just like, hey, help me. Oh my God, the monsters tore my shirt off. It wasn't anything like that. She was actually a little bit helpful. That part with the infected suit of armor, though. Whew, that fucked me up, but that always fucked me up, though, to be fair. So, there's that. But I'm saying, no. This is what I'm saying. I really did not like the Resident Evil 2 remake because all I could see is they did stupid shit and fucked up the storyline. That's all I could see. Is that, oh, we're going to have Mr. X chase you through both scenarios. And the thing with Mr. X was the surprise element for whoever's B campaign that you played, either Claire or Leon's, whatever that B scenario was, he was the surprise element. So you weren't just kind of going through the same motions, but a little bit differently. He was the flip up to the script for when you played that B scenario. Now, we're going to put him in the whole fucking thing. Like, why? What the fuck? Why? What? For why? Why do this? It's dumb. Don't do this. But they did it, and it was just like, okay, this is fucking stupid. Also, I didn't like the fact that, what else didn't I like? Oh, that whole, Leon and them, they like each other, and blah, blah. Bitch, we ain't got time for this. You see the monsters grouping. You see the zombies grouping. You see Mr. X grouping. Why, like, you're thinking like you. Oh, fuck that plot. Why the fuck was that needed? Because in the original, Claire was just fucking with Leon. Like, it was one part in the original where Leon was talking and Claire just hang up on the man. Like, she's like, we gotta get out of here. He was like, Claire, wait. And she just be like, click and keep it moving. No, they're all, you're so, it's just like, fuck you. So, yeah, no. Just, this is the thing. This is how you do a remake. It's like, it's not a shot for shot that you add the appropriate amount of changes to the story to make something that back in the day was kind of like, I guess, where it makes that, I guess, actually makes sense now. Like the Luis situation. That ironed out beautifully when they changed it from he was a random cop doing experiments to he was working for Umbrella. I like that. That's a good change. They kept the story the same, but they added shit. This is why I actually love my other favorite remake besides this is actually the first game's remake, because you took that theme and you expanded on it. You didn't do stupid shit just to have stupid shit in it. You didn't have this arbitrary ass, oh, we just gonna have somebody following you around to add that extra element of fear. Fuck that. You do the fear by setting the scene. You don't have to have this bullshit, oh, Hootie McBoob is chasing after you, Jack Baker's chasing after you, Mr. X is chasing after you, Nemesis, which I never did watch Resident Evil 3, but you get my point. It's like you don't need to have this arbitrary X person chasing after you for some bullshit fear. You can do that by just setting the scene and setting the stage, and where it's just like, ooh, this is kind of fucked up. So it was like, for me, this understood the assignment that they had. Resident Evil 2 Remake, and I'm sorry, I'm going to say something very controversial, but I don't give a shit about graphical upgrades. When that came out in 2017, your shit should be that fucking polished. We are in 2017. In 2023, your shit should be as polished as Resident Evil 4's graphics were. A graphical upgrade does not automatically mean a passing grade from me. And especially on a remake, because it's like, unless you are going for the intention of having like a gritty ass game, there's no fucking reason that should be the thing that passes your game. Add some shit, add some fun to add some elements to make me enjoy it as somebody who's not even playing, but somebody that's watching. I would say I would probably be I'm a harsher critic because I don't play. And because I don't experience what the player experiences, I am a bit harsher, but fuck that. No, you don't get a pass from me for graphical upgrades. Your shit should look polished. Come the fuck on now. So, but this was a gorgeous game, extremely polished, the appropriate amount of changes, and it fucking slapped to all high heaven. It was the game I did not know I wanted, but I am glad that we got, because, whew, the shit was fucking bomb as hell, and it just needs to be that way from now on. I don't ever want to see another remake like Resident Evil 2 ever again. Or 3, even though I ain't watch it. I don't want to see that anymore from you, Capcom. Because you have proven that you can understand the assignment without fucking it up. But I think the reason they understood the assignment and they weren't just going like a fucking rudderless boat is I do believe that Shinji Mikami had a hand in helping them with this remake, which they needed, because God only knows the bullshit that we would have got if he wasn't involved. I don't even want to imagine how the fuck they would have fucked that up. So, oh, and lastly, since I had that weird ass dream, I was asking Wesker for his autograph. That's not my Wesker. I don't know why. I didn't like that man's voice. It's missing something. It's like a meal that doesn't have no salt on it. Like, and not like, I don't mean it in like he wasn't mean enough or cruel enough or what the fuck ever. Kind of wasn't. But it's something in whoever did this new Wesker's voice that's missing something. And he's missing, it's like it almost lacks sincerity, and it definitely lacks sarcasm. Because Wesker always has this sarcastic undertone. It's missing something. It's like a good meal, but it could have been great if it had some fucking spices on it. Like, at least add a loaf of some damn salt and pepper. I wasn't liking Wesker. I'm sorry. It wasn't it. And it's, honestly, they haven't done my favorite Wesker voice since the first game's remake. My favorite Wesker voice is actually Peter Jessup. So, before, my least favorite Wesker was Richard, I can't pronounce the man's last name. But he's no longer my least favorite Wesker. Whoever the fuck that dude was who did Wesker, that's now my least favorite Wesker. It's missing something. It's off. And it's off by just like a half step. And it's just like, No. So that is all I have. And yeah, if you ain't scooped up either one of these games, go scoop them up, because you missing out. You're missing out. Or if you're like a big ass chicken like me, go watch them. I mean, Dead Space might fuck you up though, because it's real fucked up. But Resident Evil is, it's that tarantula with a knife and a loaded gun crawling by your leg. You just don't know what's going to happen. It's that kind of creepiness. But I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed both of them. They were a good watch. Yeah, so that is all I have. And I will see y'all at some point in the near future. All right? Later.